Hey Kingdom Kids, Seth here. Tonight we're digging into the Lord's Prayer, and in order to do that, I wanted to use the format of a show, Mythbusters. If we're going to kick it back a couple of years, Mythbusters was a really popular show, and the idea was that they would toss out a myth or an idea or a theory, and they would spend the entire show putting that to the test. And at the end of the show, they'd be able to tell you, this was true, this is possible, or this is absolutely not true. So the myth that I want to put to the test tonight when we're talking about the Lord's Prayer is not for everyone. This was something that the people in Jesus' time believed, and even some people still today believe that not everybody can or should pray. So let's jump right into it, and if we're going to talk about is prayer for everyone, I think it's important that we go right to the source. The disciples went to Jesus. Jesus had gone away for some quiet time. He'd gone away to pray, and the disciples followed him and they asked, would you be willing to teach us to pray too? Now, the answer may surprise you, but Jesus said, yes, absolutely, I will teach you to pray. See, some of the other religious leaders, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, some of the priests, even some rabbis, were teaching the people that it was not okay for them to pray. That you had to be so close to God in order to be able to pray. And Jesus kind of flips that on its head and he says, no, absolutely, I will teach you how to pray. Now, really cool, the first words that Jesus uses when he teaches the disciples the Lord's Prayer. He uses the words, our Father. Now, this gives us a clue about who God is. God is not just some distant God in some faraway kingdom or in some faraway heaven. He is right here with us. And he's not just an angry God, somebody who hates his creation, somebody who's just here to punish us. This is a God who loves us, who isn't just here with us, but that he wants to be here with us. The next line, hallowed be thy name. This is really cool. This hallowed, if you want to, you can sub in the word holy. And holy means set apart for something awesome. So God is perfect. He's set apart because he is perfect and nothing else in the rest of creation is. But that perfection serves a purpose. It's to show us what it means to love perfectly. The next line, thy kingdom come, is awesome. So we've got this image in our minds of a God who loves us, of a God who is set apart for something perfect, and we ask him to be here with us. We ask him to bring that to us, that his kingdom is present here. Thy will be done. See, this prayer talks about what is God's plan, what is God's purpose, and God's plan and purpose is to see his love in the entirety of his creation, in all of earth, in the entire universe, in heaven, in everything. Now, here's the awesome part. Here's the part that gives me goosebumps. God's will is done when we are living out what God has called us to do, when we love him and when we love our neighbors. We are part of how God's will is done and how his kingdom is coming. This is awesome. The next couple of parts talk about us and what we need. Give us this day our daily bread. So God's not just talking about bread. Jesus is not just praying, hey, God, give us food for today. This is literally anything and everything that we could possibly need. This is air, water, shelter, food. Anything that we could need. The last bit. Forgive us our sins. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So this is, again, something that we need. This is how God is enacting his love. This is how God is showing us his love. He sent his son Jesus to forgive us our sins. But he doesn't just stop there. He, in fact, tells us that we are supposed to go out and forgive others who sin against us, who do things that hurt us. Now, Peter was pretty clever, and he asked Jesus one time, how many times should I forgive somebody who has sinned against me? And the kind of popular answer of the day, the religious leaders, so again, the Pharisees, Sadducees, priests, rabbis, they were teaching, forgive somebody 3 times. And Peter goes, hey Jesus, let me take this, let me one up this. What if I forgive somebody 7 times? And that's a lot in comparison to the people around him. That is twice as many times plus 1 as what is expected of everybody else. And Jesus says something insane. Jesus says 7 times is not enough. Talk about 70 times 7. Dude, 490 times I'm supposed to forgive somebody? Now let me tell you, if I forgave somebody 490 times, there's a good chance that I forgot about some of the earlier sins by the time we got to 490. And that's the point. Jesus flat out said, you should forgive someone every single time they sin against you, because I have forgiven you for every single time you have sinned against me. And if we are forgiving, then we're going to forget about the stuff that's been done to us in the past, because honestly, it's so far gone. And this gets into the last part. Deliver us from evil. Guys, evil is all around us. We deal with it on a daily basis. And yes, it hurts. And yes, it stinks. And yeah. But we're not necessarily asking Jesus to deliver us from every single evil thing that could possibly happen to us. What we are praying for is that because of the forgiveness of sins that we have in Jesus, he delivers us from the ultimate evil that is eternal damnation and separation from him, and brings us to life with him for eternity. So, let's think about this. Is prayer for everyone? Well, Jesus didn't say no when the disciples asked. He taught them how to pray. All of these petitions, all of these things that we could pray for, are things that every single person needs to pray for? Let's see. All of these things help us to understand how we can pray. So Jesus didn't just say, this is the only prayer. Jesus said, this is the way that I can teach you how to pray. And if this is a teaching tool, it's for anyone and everyone who is willing to learn. So yeah, I'm going to say it pretty blunt. Prayer is for everyone. And the Lord's Prayer is a great tool to teach people how to pray. If it was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me.